Good morning, Earth scientists. It's Mrs. Anderson here today, and we are talking eclipses today. So we wrapped up our moon phase lab yesterday. We will turn that in today. So if you are at home, you'll have to turn it in once you return. And we'll kind of go over some of the questions from that as well today. So our learning target today is I can explain what causes a solar and a lunar eclipse. Our weekly agenda. Today we are starting our Eclipse mini book. So hopefully, I'm not sure if you have your books at home. Our new Science Fusion Space books. If you have them at home, great. If you do not, Mr. Payne has linked in an electronic copy in Google Classroom, so you'll be able to use that as well. We will mainly be working out of page 158 to 159 today. You will need that. And you could do some of this activity while you're at home. So this would be something you could work on. And then we will finish that up tomorrow, and then we will be doing our lesson review on page 161 tomorrow. So we will be reading this page together as a class. That means you only have like 2 other pages to read before you would be done with your lesson review. So I highly encourage making sure that you have that next 161 done for tomorrow. We'll be doing an ed puzzle with that. We will briefly watch, if we didn't get to it with your class yesterday, if you were in school yesterday, we will watch what would it be like if we lost our moon? How would that affect us here on Earth? And you'll see that pretty quickly it makes life pretty inhospitable. I will also post this link in Google Classroom so that you can watch it at home. So again, this is the book pages that we will be reading together in class. And we will be making sure that we have a good understanding of a solar versus a lunar eclipse, and then an umbra versus the penumbra as well. Those will be some of our new vocabulary terms today. I'll bring in some pictures of a lunar eclipse that I experienced, and then we'll do a little demonstration of the solar eclipse that the last one I think we talked about the other day being in 2017, and I'll share some pictures from that. We'll have a little demonstration on that and here. So this was a projection of the sun as the moon is passing in front of the sun and the sun's path to Earth. That's our solar eclipse. And you can actually see the shape of that if you poke a pinhole in through a piece of paper or cardboard, because you don't really want to look at the sun during a solar eclipse. And we will look at the projection that leaves behind. And so here are some examples of what that projection looked like at that time on different materials. And you can see, oh, there's my sweet little, my oldest when she was 2 at the time. And just some pictures of the progress. And here you see that it's just like a little sliver of the sun that was left at that time. It was very fascinating. So our do now question, we can skip it. So we're naming our 4 moon phases. Yesterday we named them based off of pictures. Today we're naming these moon phases based off of a diagram that looks fairly similar to your lab yesterday. So again, we have to think about this. The light from the sun is over here. So this is inverted or flipped from yesterday, and the numbers are different than what they were on your lab. So when the light from the sun is coming from the right here, for example, what is the moon phase from Earth's perspective when you're looking at this number 3? So remember, imagine that you're standing on Earth, and if you're at home, you just want to look through this phase and see how that would look, get at Earth's level, what it would look like from Earth. So we'll need to do that one. That's a full moon. This one, what would you see from Earth's perspective? So again, if you're standing on Earth's surface here, you're looking this way, you're seeing mostly shade or the shadow on the right-hand side, and then just a little bit on the left-hand side. So we know light on the left is a waning crescent. All right, this number 1, so from Earth's perspective, light on the right, that would be first quarter, and the last one, we are not, if you're standing on Earth here looking towards the moon, we're not able to see anything. That would be a new moon. For our Eclipse mini book, You did this with earthquakes, it sounds like, with Mr. Payne. So if you have your standard sheet of printer paper, or you can use notebook paper if you don't have printer paper at home, just a standard sheet of paper. So you are folding it in half this way. So starting long end to long end, folding it in half as best you can. I'm going to do a little bit of a rush job so I don't make this too terribly long for you. So this way, and then you're going to fold it in half again, so you get a sheet that looks like this. Then fold that in half. So now we have kind of a business card shape. Unfold it to the point where you're back here, so you see your 4 grids. And then we are going to cut. I'm going to pause because my phone is ringing if I can. All right, phone call over. So what you're going to do is when you have it at this phase, you're going to cut with scissors the fold to the floor. So we see that it opens this way, fold to the floor. And you're going to open it all back up so that you have just that fold or that cut in the middle. And then we're going to fold it again this way. So we have our 4 quadrants. And then we're doing this fancy little zoop thing where we bring those together. And then you're able to close your whole mini book this way. Okay? So we will do that. We'll read these pages together. We will watch an example of a lunar eclipse. Again, I will put this in Google Classroom. And then we have our mini book requirements. So you have some requirements that you will have to do for this. You will first need to have a creative title with an author's name. So maybe not just like Eclipse or Mr. Payne. You might want to come up with like a very creative title, something, I don't know, like that, exploring eclipses, something creative, and make sure your author's name is on there. You want to have a picture, sketch, and writing or text on each page. So we'll go over what you need to have on each page, but just make sure that you have writing and a picture on every page. That will be a requirement. You will also need to answer these following questions somewhere in your book. So we will have 6 pages. So front cover, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, and you have 5 questions to answer. So one of these maybe has like a 2-page spread on them, but you just need to answer these somewhere in your book. How do lunar eclipses occur? So how do they occur? And I will draw your attention to 158 right at the top where it says, how do lunar eclipses occur? It might be in there. Okay. Our next one, how do solar eclipses occur? We'll look over here on page 159. How do solar eclipses occur? Okay, I'll check there. Why is it relatively rare to observe an eclipse? And we're looking for something to do with the moon's orbit. Remember how we talked about if the moon's orbit were directly in front of Earth, in front of the sun, we would have a solar eclipse with every new moon, and we would have a lunar eclipse with every full moon. So why are they so rare? Why don't we see them very often? It has to do with the orbit of the moon. So hint there. And then we ask, what is an umbra and what is a penumbra? Those are on page 158 at the top, and then an example at the very bottom of an umbra and a penumbra. They have to do with the shadow that is cast during an eclipse. Then you need to make sure that you have color to your book, picture and text on each page, and that will be your requirements. We'll be working on that today, and we will also be working on that tomorrow. This is kind of a summative assessment for this unit. Here are some examples that Mr. Payne has collected throughout the past. So again, they all have a nice creative title: Planet Pals, Exploring the Moon and Eclipses, Observing the Eclipse, So some creative titles. They had names, but we blocked out the names. Number 2, sketch and writing. They've got a sketch and writing on every page. Check. Number 3, why is it relatively rare? All those questions, these are different. So what is a number? What is it a penumbra? Each one of these is evaluating all those different questions. Okay. So again, here is our example of what you need to have done. And then that'll bring us to Friday. So we'll have some work time today on that. Again, make sure your lesson reviews are done for 161 for tomorrow. Other than that, take care, be kind, contact me with any questions, and we hope to see you back soon. Have a great day, Middle School East.